Ladies and gentlemen, I will begin in German and then will continue in English. It is a great pleasure that the Federal Chancellor has arrived, even though she has an extremely tight time schedule. She must soon board an airplane heading to North Rhine-Westphalia. I will once again briefly run through the topics.
I'll switch to English now. Science is unequivocal about climate change. Under business as usual, we will enter a world which is 6 to 8 degrees warmer by the year 2300. While the majority of the scientists say that we can only handle of a maximum of 2 degrees. So here is the gap. Now, non-experts continue to confuse the public. I'm working on the telegraph hill in a former office of Albert Einstein, and so I came across a citation of him in 1920, and it's a really interesting one. So Albert Einstein says in 1920, "This world is a strange madhouse. Currently, every coachman and every waiter is debating whether relativity theory is correct. Belief in this matter depends on political party affiliation." Very strange. But you see, we have seen this before. Now, I'd like to draw a sort of connection between the situation we have right now in Europe, and Chancellor Merkel, of course, is very busy in dealing with that crisis. That's the financial crisis here. And you see, the rating agencies assess the solvency of national economies. Now, we, the climate scientists, are the planetary rating agencies, so to speak. And we are assessing the planetary budgets. And what we find is that the world is accumulating debt over debt for future generations, clearly. This is an inconvenient truth, but it has to be spelled out. Now, I'll give you just one number which is interesting. A recent study showed that if you have $1 trillion of economic global growth, $1 trillion, this corresponds to 1/2 of a ppm of CO2 concentration in the atmosphere. But only if that growth is conventional, so-called black growth. And we have to break this connection between growth and carbon in the atmosphere. That is the major task here. The German Advisory Council last year pointed out that this relationship can be broken, actually, because the motto of this conference here is growth in prosperity, but it has to be low-carbon prosperity. So the mantra is more or less growth of prosperity worldwide and shrinking of the carbon input. Lord Stern will elaborate on that a little bit later, as will others do. Now, there are many different ways, and that's another main point I'd like to make. There are many different roads you can down nationally towards low-carbon prosperity. But in order to avoid climate chaos, every nation has to go down that road till the very end. That's very important. And for doing that, you can compare roadmaps. You can form traveling companies through international cooperation. And that is what this conference is all about in the end. Now, 2 final points. We're going towards Rio+20, which is an important meeting, clearly. Many of us will be there. It could initiate a powerful process towards low-carbon prosperity. But the time after Rio+20 is at least as important as Rio+20 itself. We are going towards 2015. We are expecting to negotiate a climate treaty and so on. Now, the final point is Chancellor Merkel here has made fiscal, social, and environmental sustainability the mantra of her political strategies. I think it's fair to say this. Therefore, nobody else, I guess, in the world is more qualified and welcome to give the keynote speech here. And we feel tremendously honored by her being here. And now I switch to German again. Frau Bundeskanzlerin, die Bühne gehört Ihnen.